The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of KSMQ Public Service Media Incorporated or its assigns. Welcome to Farm Connections with your host, Dan Hoffman.
Farm Connections on KSMQ, sponsored in part by the Cedars of Austin, a senior living community. We even have a retired farmers club. Independent, assisted, and memory care apartments. Learn more at cedarsofaustin.com. Will Mahler, the ag attorney, has been representing dairy farms in Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin for 37 years. Will Mahler, the ag attorney's office, is in Rochester, and Will is a proud partner of Farm Connections. Thanks, Will Mahler.
Today on Farm Connections, we travel to the University of Minnesota St. Paul campus to learn what the Minnesota State FFA officers are up to. And we learn that they're actually involved in something called a CDE, Career Development Event, where they have contests judging general livestock, such as beef, sheep, and pork. We also learn that they do some things like dairy judging, horse judging, other career events that will help them in their journey towards a career in agriculture. Well, Tyler, thanks for joining us, KSMQ Farm Connections.
Yeah.
You're having a really good experience here today. Tell us about it.
Yes, sir. Today, as a team, we just come out here and evaluate livestock. We had 2 classes of sheep, 2 classes of pigs, and 2 classes of cattle that we evaluated here today, both market and breeding. And this is just a chance for kids to get out and look at livestock. And we get classes of 4, and you place them 1 through 4, and just for reasons on just how they're going to perform out in the feedlot, as well as out in the pasture being used for reproductive.
So this FFA contest, a career development event, is really supposed to mirror what's happening on the farm?
Yep, this is just a chance for the kids to get out and look so they know what they're looking for in cattle if they want to show cattle or be involved with agriculture as a living. And this livestock judging is actually what they'd call an SAE, which is a supervised agriculture event. That is what livestock judging is. There's multiple ones, but this is a very popular one through the FFA.
And very competitive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have been very competitive through this for the last few years, as Albert Lea has been.
Well, if your chapter at FFA in Albert Lea does well, what's the next step?
Our goal this year as a team is to be in the top 3 in the state. We've been 4th the last 2 years. But we're wanting to get in the top 3 so we can go on to a national event this year.
Good luck with that, and I think you have the skills to do it.
We're going to sure try.
You mentioned selecting the 4 animals. Now, the animals behind us are steers, correct?
Yes, sir, market steers.
So we're actually looking for something different in those steers than we might in a breeding class, correct?
Yep, we're in market steers. You're looking for their how much product they will carry, but they still have to carry it and be able to move across the feedlot on a good set of feet and legs.
The skeletal frame has to be good.
Yes, sir.
Why is it important for a farmer to know those things?
It's just the better your animals perform, the more money you're going to make, and everybody knows that you got to make money in order to keep everything going. The better that they perform out in your feedlot, and it's just going to be better for the farmer overall.
Well, a farmer needs to make money to feed his family as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So when I'm looking at these animals, do I want a short animal or a tall animal, a long animal? What do I really want if I'm raising a market animal?
These days you're wanting more of a moderate. I mean, you don't want them down to your waist and you don't want them up by your head. I mean, it's all about moderation these days, and we've been toning them down some. We did have a lot of 66, 65-inch tall cattle. Now we're down into the 50s again, and everything's going back to being moderate the way it should be.
Well, Tyler, can you bring in the rest of your judging team up and we can take a closer look at these animals?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
All right. You guys.
Well, Tyler, you've brought the rest of the team with that we're judging today. Who are they?
Yes, sir. Over there we have Brooke Rye.
Hi, Brooke.
Hi.
Got Riley Rubel
Hi, Riley.
and Matt Cheever.
Hi, Matt. Well, you guys have spent a considerable time placing the animals 1, 2, 3, 4. What did this animal rank?
This was actually the class winner here today at the U of M invite.
Why?
This one is just real complete in terms of overall the levelness of top, square hip, good on his feet and legs. He's sound and carries good product and has the right amount of condition on him for today.
How much do you think this steer weighs?
This steer I'd say is roughly just under 1,400 pounds.
Do you raise beef animals yourself
Yes, sir.
on your farm near?
I live by Blooming Prairie, Minnesota.
Wonderful. So you have a feedlot and a breeding herd or just a feedlot?
Yes, I actually raise Herefords.
Well, what's your career goal after you're done with FFA and ag?
My career goal is to, I sell cattle for people to show, and I would also like to continue raising some of the best Herefords in the industry. That's what I've been doing right now, and also would like to get a bigger feedlot set up.
Well, good luck on your career goal, and thanks for sharing with us today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Good luck on your competition. Mallory, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, tell me about your FFA experience.
Well, I guess I got started in FFA because my dad, he's actually my FFA advisor and the ag instructor at Fulda, so that kind of pushed me a lot to be an FFA. He pushed me, and actually watching my older sister in FFA, she's 3 years older than me. She took advantage of all the opportunities, was a state officer my freshman year, so it really pushed me to be an FFA because I watched her grow so much and saw how much she loved FFA. So that really made me excited by the time my freshman year rolled around to put on that blue jacket. I was so thrilled to be able to be involved in FFA. And over the years, I've been pushed by both my sister and my dad and just all my family to take advantage of all those opportunities. And I'm so grateful for it because that's why I am where I am today, a state officer for the Minnesota FFA Association.
State president.
Yep.
You must have some goals for the officer team. What are they?
At the beginning of this year, we made a lot of goals. A big thing that we are including is social media this year because we know just the members, how involved they are in social media. So we have a lot of goals for Facebook and also for Twitter. Our Twitter page wasn't so great over the years and we're kind of amping it up, getting a few more followers, more members to like us on Twitter. And then also Instagram, which is a photo sharing site. We're getting a lot more involved in that now so FFA members can see what we're up to. And then also for goals throughout the year, our theme this year is Fuel Your Fire, and so we're trying to incorporate that into everything we do because it's not only for the members, it's for our partners and advisors. They help us fuel our fires for the future, and we in turn help them by maybe getting careers later in those fields. And so our goals basically encompass that theme, just trying to maintain our membership, which we have. We recently reached 10,000 members, which was really great, and so we're trying to retain that membership.
Well, Mallory, as president of the state FFA organization, you have high-level things you need to do and invigorating and leading the team as well as the other 10,000 members in the state, but you must have some individual things and goals as well.
I do, actually. So not only the team goals, I have some individual that I kind of came into the year with and I've also shaped them throughout the year. This summer being at the camps and meeting so many members, I knew that I wanted to stay in contact with them because they are just such amazing individuals. And I remember being at camp and looking up to those state officers, and I want to make sure this year that I'm being the best role model for them. So I'm making sure to write letters to them, keep in contact, keep touch, know that I'm there for them, and know that FFA can do so much for them. So that's one of my biggest personal goals, is basically staying in contact with those members just so they know that they're important to the FFA organization and that they have a really great future as FFA members.
And how about at the SAE level or your chapter level? Have you got projects?
I do. I actually have a poultry production entrepreneurship project. So I grew up on a small hobby farm just outside of Fulda where me and my two sisters have raised chickens for about the past 12 years. And so it's been really great. We raise the chickens and then we sell eggs to neighbors and friends. So we make a little money, but it's still kind of balances out with the cost of feed, but it's really great. I've grown to love chickens so much. I show them for 4-H, which is really great. I was on the poultry judging career development event, so it's a contest here for FFA, and I really enjoyed that. And so that's my SAE, is basically raising those chickens and selling the eggs, and it's really kind of shaped me into who I am. I have a really great passion for poultry now, and it maybe lies somewhere in the future. Maybe I'll have some involvement in poultry.
How is the poultry industry important in Minnesota?
It's very important. We actually rank #1 in turkey production, and we're in the top 20 in broiler production and the top 10 in egg production. So it's really a great industry that we have here in Minnesota.
You've been very, very engaging, and thank you for the information.
Thank you so much.
Stuart, welcome to Farm Connection.
Thank you, it's nice to be here.
Well, tell me about the history of you and FFA.
FFA has really started for me personally back in 9th grade. I got involved in my first agriculture class and got my feet wet, and I just dove in from there.
Well, it sounds like you're having a lot of fun.
Oh yes, it's been a great ride so far, and I really recommend it to anyone who's looking into it because it's a phenomenal experience.
Well, congratulations on being elected Vice President for the state of Minnesota.
Thank you very much.
That FFA experience includes something called SAE. Has your family had any experience in that area?
Yes, an SAE is actually something that's tied really close to my family. And an SAE actually stands for Supervised Agricultural Experience. My dad back in 8th grade started his, and it started off as a little nursery, and it slowly but surely grew. Starting out very small in 8th grade, he eventually earned his way up to a state star and finally became one of the national stars in agribusiness. And he did a lot of that through new and improving technology that most people didn't have back in the day, like overhead irrigation or fertilizer management.
Is that project still alive and well in your family?
Yes, that project is actually what feeds and clothes my family today. It's amazing that something that my dad started in 8th grade is what's gotten me through 8th grade and getting me to college. It's really awesome to see how something we started back then really carried through and created such an impact on so many people.
Well, if your family has gotten advantage and learning and experiences through FFA and agricultural studies, what have you done for the community?
Well, there are a couple different things. One of the first things that I got to witness firsthand as I grew up was on Arbor Day every year, my family would donate trees to every single student in the school so that they could have a little piece of Arbor Day, a little tree that they could go and plant and grow, and hopefully by the time they graduated or finished school, it'd be a big, giant tree, just like their progress in life. Another thing we did is we worked with the Little Falls FFA chapter, and we sold them a few thousand trees every year, and then they would sell them to the community members, and that allowed them to raise almost $18,000 and build a new greenhouse.
Tremendous. What are your goals for this year as State FFA Vice President?
My goals really preside in taking care of the members and making sure their experience is a quality one. I know I was lucky enough to be given such a quality experience from even past state officers, past region officers, and people who just all out believed in me. And I hope I can give that to a whole bunch of new members who are coming up along, because someday they'll be in my shoes.
Well, you're well on the way and doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
Heidi, thanks for joining us on Farm Connections.
No problem, Dan.
Well, what a joy it is to see the youthful energy and your officer team. Tell us about yourself.
My name is Heidi Sloot. I'm from Winthrop, Minnesota, so I was in the Gibbon, Fairfax, Winthrop Pioneer Express FFA chapter, and I'm a sophomore now at the University of Minnesota, and I'm studying agricultural education and natural resources.
So your career goal is?
I hope to be an FFA advisor and an agricultural education teacher.
Well, you're well on your way.
Yeah.
We just saw some contests. What's happening here today?
So today at the university we are hosting the Minnesota FFA Fall Invitational. So this is where regions and chapters from around the state get to come and practice their career development events. Oftentimes regions will use these events as qualifiers for their state contests, but many chapters and regions also host the same contests back in their own regions for those state qualifying events.
Why are these contests important?
These are really important for students to have that extra step that they need to practice. They're at home, they can practice in the classroom, they go out to farms and look at animals and practice there, but this is a really cool opportunity for them to be able to directly apply them in the contest setting and see exactly how that contest will be run.
Well, FFA does some things with career training.
Yes.
How will these contests help the students and FFA members with their career goals?
Well, CDEs, or career development events, along with our SAEs, or supervised agricultural experience, really help students to develop skills that are going to help them in the career place. So leadership, communication, teamwork, all of those skills. And having these contests, working as a team to develop those skills are really going to help them as they work towards their career goals someday.
Wonderful. Let's think about you personally. Why did you run for FFA office at the state level? It's a lot of work.
It is totally worth it. I was just absolutely in love with FFA, and as a senior, I decided I just wasn't ready to hang up my blue jacket, and I just had so much pride for this organization, so I ran for a region office, and I got to spend my freshman year as the Region 7 Vice President. And I just fell deeper in love with the organization, if that's even possible. And I just really love being able to help those students develop those skills that they need to be successful someday, and helping them to find what they're passionate about and developing those passions.
And is it working out like you planned?
It is, yes. And like you said, it's a lot of work, but it's totally worth it. And I absolutely love being a state officer.
And as that part of that officer team, does the team itself have some objectives or goals for this year?
We do. We have set up an array of goals that we have, including our social media goals that Brandon's going to talk about a little bit later. And also we have developed a theme for our year, which is Fuel Your Fire. We chose this theme because we think that it really reflects what we're trying to do this year, which is to help students find what they're passionate about and to fuel that passion.
Well, I love your enthusiasm. In parting thoughts, anything else you'd like to share?
I just wanted to say also that as a future ag advisor, I've really realized how important ag advisors are to our students. And I think oftentimes when we are growing up, we don't really see how important they are to us until we are out of school, and we continue to keep in contact with them and really just seeing what an amazing impact they've had on our lives. And our ag teachers have such a unique opportunity to connect with us at such an entirely different level than other educators because of the FFA experience, the in-classroom instruction, and our SAE projects. So they just have so much passion for this organization, and we owe them so much credit for creating such amazing students that we get to work with.
Well, good luck on your journey to becoming an ag teacher.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. Brooke, thanks for joining us on Farm Connections.
Yeah, glad to.
Tell me a little bit about your FFA history.
Okay, I am from Morris, Minnesota, so the western part of the state, and I joined FFA when I was in 9th grade, became really active right out of the gate, and from there I just wanted to do more, became involved at the region and then now at the state level, so I've definitely had a full experience in FFA.
You said you joined in 9th grade. What caused you to think FFA might be a good experience?
Well, my mom had been an FFA member, and I have a lot of older cousins, and they were all in FFA too. So all these people were asking me, are you going to join? And I just knew right away that I was going to join. I was a 4-H member, so I knew all along that I would be a part of FFA.
Has it fulfilled your dreams and your aspirations?
Oh yeah, far beyond, definitely. I knew a little bit about what the organization was about, but you don't really know all there is to offer until you become a part of it. Giving back to your community, becoming active at the state level, competing in different contests. The people that I've met, I wouldn't have even expected to meet them.
Well, you started at the chapter level at Morris High School.
Yep.
And then you've moved through the ranks in other offices. What kinds of things have you done?
Well, I was chapter director, and then I was chapter president, became the Region 3 vice president, and then this year I'm serving as the Minnesota State FFA secretary.
What are your individual goals in the secretary's position?
Well, throughout the year I just really want to meet different members from across the state, learn about why they are so excited about FFA and what they want to do in that future, and then in their future, and from there just really staying in contact with them past my year, because they'll still be in FFA, and trying to keep in touch with them throughout my year and then beyond that. So,
worthy goal.
Yeah.
And as part of an officer team, does the officer team have a specific goal or objective for the year?
Yeah, we really want to keep up our membership. We have 10,063 members right now, and that's a 25-year high. So we are super excited and stoked for that, and we just really want to keep that high membership up above 10,000. And we also want these members to have a quality and complete experience. FFA is a part of the agriculture education three-circle model. So it's in the classroom experience, FFA, and then supervised agricultural experience. So we just want to encourage members to have a quality experience and become involved.
What are the benefits or good experiences of being involved in all three of those areas?
Well, part of our mission is to focus on premier leadership, personal growth, and career success, and all these three areas touch on it. In the classroom is really a point of learning where students learn about agriculture, learn about leadership, and then in FFA they can start to apply these skills, go to different conferences, gain leadership qualities, and then the supervised agriculture experience is where it kind of all applies together. Different members have either started their own business or work for a company or an employer, and this kind of gives them that career experience that people are looking for in the workforce, whether they go into an agricultural field or they choose to do something else in their future.
Well, it's very important that you as a producer or a student of agriculture learn about agriculture, but what about the people that consume food, fuel, and fiber? Is it important for others to know about agriculture?
Oh, exactly. You hit it right on. It's important for everyone to know about agriculture, food, natural resources, because it's a part of our daily lives. Everyone eats and everyone wears clothes, so that's something that people need to be aware of. The blue jacket is the perfect conversation starter. People ask you why you're wearing it, and then you can lead into a conversation and apply it to them, because it has to do with agriculture, and it has to deal with them eating their food and clothing themselves and fueling their car tanks.
Well, there seems to be a hunger, if you will, for learning about farming and agriculture and where food comes from. What's special about teaching that elementary student?
They're so curious. It's so neat. You go in and you don't necessarily know what to expect. You're kind of nervous teaching about a lesson plan. It's a little intimidating, this full classroom. But these students are so engaged and they so want to learn because it applies to them. They can relate to these things because they eat, and they just want to learn more about the animals, how they're grown and how they're raised, because not all of them will have the experience of being able to be on a farm. So the more we can bring the farm to them and they can see the animals for themselves, it's a cool experience to be a part of.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, good luck on a year. It looks like you're off to a great start.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Brandon, thanks for joining us on Farm Connection.
Nice to be here.
I noticed that you're state FFA reporter. In fact, it says so right here. What is that job all about?
Well, state reporter, I mean, sometimes it's just a title almost for any officer, but like being a part of the state officer team, there's a lot of different things you do being a state officer. We put on leadership conferences in the summer, and we're kind of the face of FFA. And as state reporter, I mean, one of the specific duties that I've kind of taken on is taking a role in social media and being an avid advocate on social media websites. So like Facebook and Twitter, and we just started an Instagram account this year actually too.
Why is social media important to FFA?
Well, social media for a lot of people will be the only way that they connect with FFA and agriculture. I mean, we have State Fair also where people come in through and they connect with FFA, but connecting with those people throughout the entire year and not just for the 12 days of State Fair is super important. So when we have these social media websites, we can utilize them to share fun facts about agriculture, to advocate for agriculture, share fun facts about FFA, and just get like our general story and personal message out about FFA and agricultural education.
Well, Mr. Ertl, the state FFA executive secretary, was mentioning that there's a growth pattern happening at FFA. Why do you think people are joining FFA?
Well, I think personally that people are joining FFA because it's a career and technical organization. A lot of people think that we're just about agriculture, we're the future farmers of America, and we are about agriculture, and agriculture is super important, but people are starting to realize that there's a lot of different career skills that you can gain in FFA, so that they utilize that and they want their children to be a part of that. And we've gone to different businesses in the agriculture industry, and we've heard from other industries too that if somebody puts their membership on their resume as an FFA member, then they'll pull them straight in for an interview. And maybe they won't get the job, but they'll skip an entire part of that process. So then they'll be pulled in because they know that they have those skills that FFA members have.
What's your goal as you go through the year of being state reporter?
Well, I was talking about those career skills earlier, and I think that's one of the major personal stories that I have. I'm going to be majoring in agriculture education and political science here at the University of Minnesota, and I wouldn't have figured out that I wanted to go down that career path if I hadn't been in FFA or in an agriculture education program. So I know that from helping out my advisor and ag teacher, that's my SAE project, Supervised Agriculture Experience Project, it's agriculture education. So I know that's a career that I'm interested in. And then also that we have an ag policy boot camp where we get to connect with legislators and go visit them and just advocate for agriculture education during a 2-day camp. And it's usually in the winter. And I figured out that I like public policy a lot, so I'm also very interested in that, and that's why I'll be majoring in both of those double majors.
Fantastic. And why is public policy important to FFA and agriculture?
Well, public policy is definitely important because we have to be advocating for agriculture at all times. And also at the national level, we have Carl Perkins funding, which is super important to make sure that our agriculture education programs are properly funded and that we can have enough money to not make sure that they're not getting cut from their funding so that they can keep existing and we can add more agriculture education programs. So then those students that are in those, they're gaining those vital career skills that we want every single high school student in the United States to have.
And the name of your FFA chapter is?
Sleepy Eye FFA.
Sleepy Eye, Minnesota. Mm-hmm. Brandon, this has been really wonderful. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us at the University of Minnesota St. Paul campus. We hope that you'll tune in next week to learn more about agriculture on Farm Connections.